Founded by the Austrian industry pioneer Johann Weitzer, transformed into a joint stock company in the interwar period and then privatized again after the fall of communism, the wagon factories in Arad are presented today as a continuation of a legacy that takes us back to the beginning of the Industrial Revolution in this part of the world. At the dawn of the new millennium, immediately after privatization, we re-established the Research and Design Center, and from the third year, we managed to produce a prototype of a modern wagon that was presented at the first Romanian exhibition in Bucharest. In 2012, the Imperio tram was also presented on the international market of the InnoTrans exhibition in Berlin, and today the demand for new orders is high. But from ordering until delivery, there's a whole story to tell. Rolling stock manufacturing is a complex process that begins with the development of design and the execution of drawings, technological engineering, and then the actual manufacturing of the vehicle. All ASTRA products and technologies are developed in its own research, design, and technology center, equipped with graphic stations and pro-engineer software. The assurance of ASTRA products is achieved by implementing and certifying the quality management system ISO 9001. The protection of the environment and occupational health is ensured by the certification of the management system ISO 14001 and OHSAS 18001. Its welding and quality occupy a special place in ASTRA factories. The entire activity of ASTRA is managed by the information technology system generated by the Oracle platform, through which the intercommunication and control between the managerial activities of commercial and financial production is achieved. After the preparation of the documentation and its distribution to the production workshops, the actual construction of the wagon begins. Following the orders established by those in the design department, raw material stocks are purchased, metal sheets, various profiles, iron, steel, or aluminum, all of which are treated and made available to those in the cutting section. In order to achieve the dimensions of the project, in the cutting workshop, the sheet is cut with the help of a laser cutting installation. For bending, numerically controlled machines are used. The cut and bent parts are transferred to the preparation workshop, the place where small parts are manufactured, intermediate components, sections of walls, pillars, and many other components. After assembling and finishing the components, they are transferred to the assembly shop. This is where the big ensembles are made. The chassis, as well as the sidewalls, are each made separately, and the roof of the tram is built here. Once made, the large assemblies are carefully welded together in a special device, and thus we obtain the complete frame. After the frame is assembled, it's transported to the blasting section, where it's to be cleaned of impurities. Then it's transferred to the priming and grouting enclosure, and the final painting is done in temperature-controlled cabins. The color of the tram is defined in the powder coating booth for smaller sub-assemblies. Here, we need ovens with prescribed drying temperatures and controlled temperatures. The tram frame returns to the assembly hall, where it begins to take shape. Once the frame is secured against oxidation, the installation of all components and interior fittings begins with all the equipment that accompanies the tram. Unlike most rolling stock manufacturers that produce only certain sub-assemblies and then make the final assembly with components supplied from the market, ASTRA Calatori achieves in its own factory the highest degree of integration of the main components. At this stage, the floor is installed, the mineral wool insulation is put in the walls, and the windows are glued. In parallel with all these operations, a team of specialists prepares the bogie chassis on which the electrical, the braking, and the engine itself are subsequently mounted. After multiple checks, these components are put into place. Although ASTRA has the capacity to produce bogies in its own factory, for the production of some tram models, ASTRA Group has chosen to equip certain wagons with the bogie engine produced by Siemens. Now is the time when the tram frame is put on the bogies and the tram starts to take shape. The tram is to be equipped with double doors and safety systems for passengers, HVAC-type heating and air conditioning systems, interior lighting with LED lamps, outdoor route displays, LED indicators for station viewing, a passenger counting system, LCD information monitors, a sound system for voice announcements of stations, indoor and outdoor video surveillance systems, Wi-Fi, and on request a ticketing system and PIOS. Once placed on the bogies outside, the doors are mounted. The ornaments are mounted and painted in the colors required by the customer, and the electrical parts are mounted on the cabs, including the pantograph. While the exterior of the tram is getting closer to its final shape, inside, an army of technicians put in their rightful place the kilometers of electrical circuits that will serve the command and control equipment, traction, and air conditioning of the vehicle. This is followed by the installation of the folding bellows, passenger information panels, chairs, support bars, handles, but also the fine finishing parts, such as the buttons that control the doors. Here, the electricians have the last word again. As a culmination of the work of the entire team, they connect the indoor display screens, video cameras, passenger counting system, and prepare the ground for the installation of the ticket validation system. At this stage, the interior of the tram begins to take its final shape, the one with which passengers are already familiar. Once the tram is complete, it's time for the vehicle to undergo the final tests. Under the close supervision of the ASTRA Group engineers and specialists, the new tram from the production line is subjected to a series of carefully prepared static and dynamic tests. They will highlight, if necessary, any problems that have arisen in the production process. It's time for those who built the tram to make sure that everything they designed and then put inside the vehicle works as planned. From this point, there is only one more step: boarding the new tram on the special ASTRA Group trailer, which will transport it to the customer. In addition to the lowered floor that covers the entire surface, intended for standing passengers, and the braking energy recovery system, the tram benefits from several other advantages, such as a high viewing angle for the motorman, comfortable seats, ultra-quiet driving positions at both ends for both forward and reverse motion, and autonomy in operation over a distance of at least 200 meters. That is why we can say that ASTRA Group today produces trams as modern and efficient as the big competitors in the European Union, and even the world.